ahead and get started. If you have a question for Ross, go ahead and raise your hand. We're going to work to get to as many questions as we can. Friendly reminder, you may raise your hand within the Zoom platform or send us a chat and we'll monitor that area as well. And to kick us off, we're going to go to Kelly Crandall. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thank you. Hey, Ross.
Hey.
I'm reading your comments after Nashville, and you were talking about confidence and just maybe getting down on yourself after the West Coast swing earlier this year. Is that something that in general you struggle with, is just confidence in racing and making sure you keep the right mindset? I don't know if I've ever heard you talk about that before.
Yeah, I mean, this is a performance-driven industry, and if you don't perform, why are you here and how are you going to stay here? So, yes, and I think every race car driver does. You have a bad finish, you don't feel as good as if you finish good, like if you finish up front. So, I don't want it to be taken too much. I don't feel like I have deeper issues by any means. I feel like I'm living a great life, like great family, great livelihood, getting to do what I truly love and have dreamt about my entire life, or definitely since I was 12 years old and first raced a truck for the first time when I was 12 years old. So, but yes, after Las Vegas, it was tough. I had a lot of calls. I stayed out west, just how my schedule worked out. I wanted to spend a week out there between Vegas and Phoenix. So I had a lot of phone calls, a lot of Teams calls with my team, talking through the setup and talking through what I needed and how I could be better and how the car could be better. So that was a tough week.
When it comes to competing in the Cup Series, how different is that, or how different is your mindset between knowing when it's things you can get better at versus maybe where the organization is right now?
Oh, I think Miss Ellis would kick us off of here because I would talk way too long if we truly got into that. But yeah, it is tough to evaluate a lot of times, but we just try to be better. So that's the biggest thing, is just we haven't changed our processes since really since I got to CGR in 2018, and then obviously ramped up last fall once we knew we were driving this car, and has just stayed the course. Like, I'm at Pratt Miller at the Chevy simulator now. Like, I just hopped off. Like, it's the same processes. Even whenever we walk out of a place like this and feel like my brain is scrambled and we didn't make any progress, we just come back the next week or the next day or whenever our next session is and hit it again and try to be better.
Thanks, Ross.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Jeff with Empire Sports. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks, Amanda. Hey, Ross, thank you for joining us today. Hope you're well. And the results have been much better over the past few weeks. 9 top 20s over the past 10 races. You go to your first All-Star and you get your first runner-up finish over at Nashville on Sunday. Has there been a single like aha moment where you realize, like, oh, we have this speed, we can do this, we can compete on a regular basis? Has there been a single aha moment with the 42 team?
No, not in my opinion. I think it's the pieces have been there, and I've said this from the beginning of the year. Like, picture a big table, and that's how I imagine it. All of our pieces that go win in the Cup Series are there. We just have to pick them up in the right order and put them to the right spot at the right time, and have the right people doing it. And we just struggled a little bit to do that. So it's been building even before the results were that great. But no, we're just steady on our progress and our processes of trying to be as best we can be. It's just been a building over time.
What has it been like working through this process, the crew chief like Phil? Because you guys are on similar paths in a way when you think about it. You're a first-time full-time Cup driver. He's a full-time crew chief for the first time. So what's it been like working through this process with Phil?
Throw in there a first full-time Cup Series spotter with Brandon McReynolds. We got 3 rookies on the 42 team, but I know a lot of people question that, and we had a lot of open conversations and truly, open with each other before the season on what to expect and what we thought, and we were short of our expectations to start the year. But again, I keep saying it, we didn't change, and this is a results-driven sport, and the results are now getting there, and we've put together some good weeks. And although I've made a lot of mistakes, we've had mistakes made on the team. in these races where we haven't been up there the whole race, like we've, at least this last month, we've put them together to finish the race, and that's what it's all about. So like at Nashville, I felt like we were a top 5 car all day long, but every time they were giving out stage points, I found myself in 24th place. It's like, what am I doing here? So it was good to put together a good last half of the race and, maximize for sure. It's hard to pass, so to drive up there was really good. But yeah, Phil and I have been honest with each other, and we don't cheer each other up. We're not like a big like pep rally or pep talk, either one of us. Like, we had a conversation after Nashville about, did I want more pep talk on the radio, or did I want, I was like, no, I want what you're doing. You give me the information, you give me your thoughts. So you give me the facts, you give me your opinion, and then I form my own opinion, and we see where the facts shake out. So we're not big like motivational speech guys on the radio. I'm all about motivating off track and during the week, but on track, like the work's done. Now it's just time to go do our jobs.
Appreciate your time and insight, Ross. Good luck at Pocono.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Michael Shelton. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you very much. Well, Ross, obviously you've had some great races these last couple weeks at Sonoma and of course at Nashville. Now you head into the doubleheader at Pocono, and you've had success at Pocono previously in the Xfinity Series and in the Truck Series. So what's your mindset heading into this doubleheader weekend now that you're in a very strong Cup car with Chip Ganassi?
Yes, sir. You're right. We have had some incredible weekends. I led my first truly led my first Truck Series laps there. Miguel Paludo beat me for the pole in the 2013 race at Pocono, but we led the first 8 or 9 laps, and that was the first time I'd ever truly led a national series race besides like a pit sequence or a caution or something. So that was a big moment for me. And then to come back in 2019, win the truck race, run second there last year in the Xfinity Series. It's really, you're right. We have had some good runs there. And, I think what's going to help and what, is a good feeling all this week is that through our crazy NASCAR matrix for starting position with the formula, we're starting in the top 10, and we've kind of been on the wrong end of the wheel every week on starting position because our points position and whether we got a good finish but we didn't have a fast lap, or we had a fast lap didn't have a good finish. Like, felt like the math was always against us, and I'm not good at math in general, but I knew that we were always in the 20s. So be top 10 firing off here right next to my teammate, I think, or close to him, Kurt. That's going to be a big help. And then hopefully we have not as good starting position Sunday. Hopefully, we're starting like 20th on Sunday. It's kind of my goal.
And just a quick follow-up, after the Pocono doubleheader, then you guys go to the Road America for the 4th of July weekend. Now, in the Circuit of the Americas, you finished 4th. Not looking too far ahead, but what do you do to prepare for a road course like Road of America that you've never raced on before? Do you take any strategy from Circuit of the Americas and apply it to that?
Some, I mean, especially what we learned there in the rain. But our road course stuff has been incredible this year. Like, I've truly been blown away at the speed and the drivability. Like, I can hustle the cars on the road courses and make lap time, and they hang on pretty good over the longer runs. So it's been good for today's modern road course package in NASCAR. But I actually do have some laps there through the Xfinity Series over the last few years. So truly, before the year, I had Road America kind of as probably my best road course. Just for a preparation side, I thought I could help us prepare the best with our Chevy simulator and like what's real. And I thought I'll have a couple cup races on the road courses, and I'll have an idea of what it should feel like, and then I'll know that track pretty well. And then we came out the gate really strong, aside from the Daytona road course, where we were closer to a 15th place car. The other ones we've been closer to a top 7, top 5 car. So yeah, a lot of things to take from our 3 road course races so far, and we're only at the halfway of our road course season, so that's good because we've been running.
Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Jenna Fryer. Go ahead, Jenna.
Thanks. Two different subjects. Ross, the first one I'm going to follow up on Road America there. You do have 5 Xfinity Series starts, and that might be the most in the field next week when you guys go there to Road America. How do you like that track? And, you know, a lot of guys say that it's the best permanent road course in the world. I'm wondering your thoughts on it.
It is for a lot of the right reasons. The elevation changes are not crazy, but they're subtle enough to be raceable, but you're not just like dropping off corners. The curbing is, in my opinion, proper. I have spent some time with the Chip Ganassi Racing IMSA guys and IndyCar guys throughout the off season and talk with Alex Palou from time to time, and hearing guys like that when Chip ran the 24-hour race at Daytona, like I got to like listen to him on the radio with Simon Pagenaud, and hearing a guy like Simon describe a car on a road course and a proper corner and a proper apex and a proper curb strike, it's like, okay, it starts to make a little more sense about what it should be like. So a lot of those are real. And then
Hey.
What's that?
That's not me. That's not me. Somebody's unmuted.
It's there's enough forgiveness, like you get off on the grass, but there is a penalty for overstepping. So I think that's another good thing. Like it's not just asphalt with green paint or blue stripes. Like it's truly, you're going to be off on the grass and there's a concrete wall coming up. So it is a tough place, but it's a good challenging place.
Do you have any advantage? Because I don't know for certain, but I think 5 starts there might be the most.
I don't think so. These Cup guys are so good, and these simulators are so good now. I only know our Chevrolet GM one here at Pratt Miller, but it is they're good. They feel, when you get it right, they feel real. So I take a lot from them, and it's about just as good as going, taking a hauler in a race car up there and making laps in real life. Plus it doesn't hurt as bad when you wreck. So that's better. No, I don't think I have any.
Okay. I apologize if you've already talked about this. I came in a little bit late. Your career best finish last week at Nashville. Number one, what do you think attributed to that? Daniel Suarez has said that with a new team, he thinks that at places there's practice. It helps him a little bit. I don't know if the practice is helping you. And any conversations with Chip after that finish?
No, we played phone tag a little bit with Chip, but I agree on the practice side. But I think all race car drivers are better with practice. Like you can work on your car. Now we were good from lap 1. I actually rolled out, and Daniel and I were like passing each other in practice. I don't know why that was happening. Neither one of us really knew why we were like together on track. But I knew from my get up to speed lap, like the car was going to be good. And then it was just about managing the buildup of rubber and the resin and the spray. And throughout the weekend, the track got to a lot better spot. Like I ran the truck race, so I had practice Friday morning, and from there till Sunday afternoon for the Cup race, like the track was properly, my proper word again, it was proper for a rubber standpoint by Sunday. Like it really wasn't ready Friday. It needed more rubber, in my opinion. So just feeling those like truck practice to race, Cup practice to race is big, and it's big for my confidence. Like go out in your top 10 in practice, it's like, okay. And then you mock up and you go a little bit faster, but not quite. It's like, okay, I know what I can do different. And I didn't exactly execute it Sunday morning for qualifying, but I had confidence that I at least knew what to expect going into the race.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Claire B. Lang. Go ahead, Claire.
Thank you. At Pocono, after the first race, instead of 15 minutes of practice, because you don't have practice this weekend, it'll be an entire race to debrief, right? How much different do you think Pocono 2 will be in the weekend versus Pocono 1? How much can it differ because of changes that are made overnight and that sort of thing? How much different do you think it will be?
Yeah, Claire, I think that the track will continue to take rubber. We'll have an Xfinity race Sunday morning before our Sunday race. So, we'll have some rubber on the track from the truck guys. So, that's good, but it is 2 different days, and racers, or I do in my Phil Surgeon uses this term a lot, and I always have, like, all right, if we were coming back tomorrow, what would we change? We have one night, let's talk through it, debrief, and what would we change? And then we write all that down and we incorporate it into the setup for the next season or whenever we come back to that track again. And now it truly is like you're coming back in the Cup Series the very next day. Unfortunately, in my experience, sometimes there's not as big of increase in grip or speed as you would like. Like the guys good on Saturday are probably going to be good on Sunday, plus or minus a few spots. And I don't think, there's going to be that maybe one or two guys that might be really bad on Saturday and they fix an issue. It's a mechanical issue or they miss their travels or something and they can't really fix it until they get back in the garage, like, or whatever their trim levels or their body build, like their aero settings, right? Like there might be something and they might pick up a bunch of spots, but nobody's just going to like fall off a cliff on Sunday without a true problem. So it's going to be pretty similar. You get your balance a little closer. Unfortunately, as much as I'm a race car driver and I want to practice, I am not naive to the fact that our races without practice, and I think Nashville was a good race. What I've watched back, I've watched it back. I just was kind of tired doing it Monday morning, or Monday at lunch when I got home, because Jenna and I were flying home together on a commercial flight. But I'm not naive to the fact that like our non-practice races have been pretty good. And I don't know that practice necessarily helps the racing product. So I don't necessarily think, you're going to expect to see a better race on Sunday. The best race might be Saturday when we don't really know what to expect because we haven't been on track here in months.
It's really interesting. And then there's always the thing where, and engineers and crew chiefs decide that they can get even better than they were on Saturday. And then sometimes they throw too much at it and it isn't what they thought it was going to be because they thought they could get that much better. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, ma'am. And Pocono is a place with 3 totally different turns, different banking, different entry speeds, exit speeds, different loads on the car. So yeah, you're going to sacrifice something to try to make the best lap time. And then you're like, oh, but if I can get a little more in that bad corner, in my worst corner, I'll be better. And then you hurt the other 2. And it's like, oh, darn it. And then you have to have enough adjustment built into the car. And that's for my engineers and crew chief and all my guys at Chip Ganassi Racing. I mean, we have an army of people for a reason. They build the best race car they can build. And having that adjustability built in is key to not get, just to have your box big enough to truly work in.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Good luck.
Yeah. Thanks, Claire.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ross, thank you so much for joining us. That appears to be all the questions we have. We appreciate you spending time with us, especially when we know you've been busy in the simulator, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend in Pocono.
Yeah. Thank you. Talk to y'all later.
All